Hello, everybody on YouTube and TikTok. It's my monthly YouTube live. So, yeah, got some questions to answer on the Patreon here. So, yeah, I'll put it in the chat, the link to ask questions if you would like. Yeah, so I hope everybody's doing great today. It's a rainy day out here, but I'm looking forward to some sunny weather soon. I intend it. So, guys, I hope all of you guys are having a great day, manifesting lots, enjoying yourselves. Yeah, so let's dive straight into it. Hi, everybody. So we've got a question here. If you watched the last live, I answered a question from this subscriber last time on the live. So she's commented and asked another question. So she says, "Hi, Amanda. Thank you for answering my question the last few months." Actually, yeah, it has been the last few months. I just want to let you know that I got into nursing school. Oh my goodness, yay! That was one of the things we talked about, I think in the last one or the previous one. So excited. I can see positive changes happening in my life. I love that. But sometimes I feel impatient and I'm more stressed each day. First of all, I want to manifest money for myself and others. So I have enough money to go to school without working. To be honest, I don't have any savings now. So going to a new state school can get quite scary. And my parents can take care of themselves financially. They don't take full responsibility for themselves, and relying on me makes me feel frustrated and stressed, especially when they think taking care of them is my responsibility and never truly appreciate me. Okay, so let's start there. We're just going to start with that half and we'll work on the other half in a minute. So happy you got into nursing school. When we're seeing positive things happen in our life, I know it can be really easy to get impatient, but in those moments, you've got to say to yourself, look at it, it's happening now. My thoughts create, and everything that I want is happening. It's when we trust in ourselves and our intentions, and we have faith in what we're, in that we're creators, right? That sort of takes the impatience away, because impatience is sort of saying, well, you know what, I'm uncomfortable because I don't have it now. So we need to change that into, look at, I intend to feel like I have it now. I intend to see signs that it's happening now. I intend that it's all happening. Oh, pardon me. And happening now. My goodness. So that I would want to start with right there. So let's go with the money for yourselves and others. So let's start affirming, I have more than enough money to take care of myself while I'm in school. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I don't know, you don't have to know how the money is going to come in. You just need to intend that it comes in. So like, for instance, when I started Create Your Future, I had to quit my other job because it was full time and I didn't have time to do both. And I had no income if I wasn't actually working. And that's when Create Your Future was still new and definitely wasn't making enough money to support me. And, and I'm in Canada and I had no way to support myself to actually create my business. So I said, I don't care how it happens, but something's going to happen where I'm going to be able to get this much money a month. And then sure enough, I did. And I quit my job. But in Canada, we have a thing called EI, so employment assistance, but you can't qualify for it if you quit your job. So some magical thing happened and all of a sudden I qualified for it and actually got employment assistance while I was starting my business. So there was like a program because I was going to be self-employed, blah, 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 blah. So, just start intending right now. Look, it doesn't matter how it's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's going to be something. Okay. So, out of the blue, some like magical thing, some program you didn't know about is going to show up that they help you out while you're in school, some sponsorship, something. There's so many different things that can happen and things that you didn't even know about. So start intending now that, something's going to show up and you are going to have enough money to be in school and not work either. You know what I mean? So maybe there's some kind of program because nurses are needed that they're going to pay for your living expenses while you go through nursing school. Like, anything is possible. I remember years ago, there was a client and she had a bunch of debt and she wasn't sure if she should go to a debt repayment plan. But I was like, no, that's living from the end of being debt free. That's a step you can take. She goes, and apparently there was some kind of program that she qualified for that basically paid all her debts, paid her bills, plus paid off her credit cards, plus gave her new appliances. I mean, so, you never know what is going to happen. Like, don't limit yourself to, okay, I don't think there's anything out there. No, you know what? The universe will make it for you. The universe, there'll be all of a sudden some new program you didn't know about, or some program that was already there that you didn't know about. So start intending and affirming that there's lots of money out there and it's coming your way. And there's lots of programs that'll support you when you're through school, because, they want you to be a nurse. I know in Canada, there's a shortage of nurses, or at least in British Columbia, so who knows, maybe my province will do something like that, right? To help people to become that. I mean, the sky's the limit, right? So, you don't have to be specific about it, but, start going, look at, I believe my thoughts create, and you know what? This is going to happen. There's so many things that I've changed that I was just like blown away by, because I never thought in a million years it would totally be possible. But it's a matter of, you don't need to believe that what you're intending is possible. You just have to believe that your thoughts create, and believe that you could be, do, and have anything. And with that solid belief right there, I mean, that's enough to make anything happen, for mountains to move, right? To change the weather, anything that you want. So let's start intending now that, something you're going to come across something, and you're going to be able to support yourself through school. Now, let's talk about your parents. So, also, I would intend that you feel like you can intend, I feel good about going to a new state. I feel excited. I think, it's going to be, you can call those things into you rather than looking at it like it's scary. Sit down and write a list. Like, why are all the reasons you're scared? And then change those into positive intentions. Okay. So just become aware of why you're being scared, why you're feeling scared about going to a new state, and then change those into positive intentions, right? So if it's like, well, I'm not going to know anybody, then the new intention is, I'm going to make friends easily and effortlessly. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough money. No, you know what? Money's going to come to me. There's going to be more than enough money to support myself while I'm in school. And that's happening. It's happening now because I'm good enough, right? So that's what you want to do with all of those thoughts that are totaling that feeling of being scared. And you want to catch enough and identify enough of those thoughts where you shift that feeling of being scared into something else, maybe excitement, or at least calmness, neutral, something like that, right? So now let's talk about the parents. So everyone is you pushed out. Okay. So right now, your parents don't take full responsibility for themselves. So the first thing, and write this down, is I intend for my parents to take responsibility for themselves. I intend for my parents to financially take care of themselves. I intend that my parents, never look to me to support them. I intend that my parents, financially support themselves and understand that right now I'm going to school. And in fact, they help me with me financially going to school. I mean, if you want to go that far, it's up to you, right? So you also want to say, look at, my parents never rely on me. They can take care of themselves. Okay. I feel good and confident that my parents always take care of themselves and never look to me for help. Okay. So, I feel, satisfied that they can financially take care of themselves. Right. So you really need to change that story. Right. And then, I would even say, I intend that they take responsibility for themselves, they financially take care of themselves, and they tell me and show me how much they appreciate me every day. So, it's going to be about changing that story. I've changed many people in my life that are close to me, and, it really comes to a point, of just being like, just sick of your old story, right? Just sick of it, going, okay, you know what? I created these people not to appreciate me, to depend on me. It frustrates me. It stresses me out. Okay, I've had enough of this. Like, I've had enough. This is what I want instead. So take that list, right, of everything that frustrates you and stresses you out, identify it, which I think we did here, and use those new intentions. Rewind this and write them down if you can, because those are like perfect intentions to counter this, right? And I intend everyone appreciates you and shows you how much they appreciate you. Most of all, I think for everybody out there, I know everyone is us pushed out, but that doesn't mean that we're always to blame, that we always, are a doormat. No, you know what? If we create somebody to not treat us well or to do something to us that makes us upset, we still need to intend that they take responsibility for it. And then we need to intend whatever else we would want on top of that. So a lot of times I'm like, no, I intend that Jerry takes responsibility for what he did and apologizes. And that is totally okay. But at the very least, right, when you've got somebody that isn't showing up the way you want, you have to intend that they take responsibility for their situation. Okay, I know that I create. Okay, so I create whatever shows up in Jerry's life because he's me pushed out. But that doesn't mean that I've got to be, take responsibility and be blamed for it and take it personally. No. So if I see that Jerry isn't pulling his weight, he's struggling in life, okay, because that's the assumption I have at him. So then I would intend that Jerry takes responsibility for his life. He starts getting his act together and he starts becoming successful, right? So that's the extent of the responsibility that we have for things that show up in our reality, is our assumption of how they show up in our reality. It's not our fault, that he's like showing up like, that his life isn't together, right? So maybe you just met him and his life's not together because there's a general assumption that some people don't have their lives together. Okay, that happened to be him. So let's just start intending that he takes responsibility for it, gets his life together, and, starts living, the way, in a more, healthier or more successful sort of way. And he gets on top of his stuff, right? So yeah, so let's move on to the second part of this. It says, I'm also working on getting commitment with my specific person who I have a past history with, emotionally unavailable, and just got out of a relationship. Okay, so I'm assuming he's emotionally unavailable and just got out of a relationship. Whoever is, you would just say, look, it's either I'm emotionally available and I am over my past relationship and ready to be in a new one, or if it's him, I intend that my SP is emotionally available and is ready to get into a new relationship. Okay. I would change that story right there. He's definitely putting in more effort. I can't help but to feel unconfident in front of him. Okay. So let's say I intend to feel confident in front of him. I always feel confident in front of him. Right. So start saying that. I have found that I always question myself if I'm good enough. Okay. So with all of your intentions that you do, always say that I'm good enough. I know it doesn't seem like a huge word, but it really is a magic word right there. You know what? As soon as you say, okay, you know what? Money just flows to me because I'm good enough. I always get what I want because I'm good enough. People appreciate me because I'm good enough, because you are good enough, right? So, I'm scared of communicating with him. Since the last time we talked, it ended not very well. I'm still not ready for it. Also, I'm moving soon and I really want him to come with me. Okay. So I get what you're saying. So we need to switch that a little bit to, like, my question is why are you scared to communicate with him? Because it didn't end very well, because he doesn't want to be with you. So you want to take all the thoughts that you're having that are making you scared to communicate with them, and you want to change them into positive intentions, right? So I feel good when I communicate with him. Every time I talk with him, he always tells me things that I want to hear. He wants to be with me. Even though our last conversation didn't end well, he's going to apologize for it because he takes responsibility for it. And he realizes that he said things he didn't mean. Like, I would even go that far. Like, I would totally go that far. Okay. Even though, even in my relationship with Andrew, like, sometimes I think things and then he does them and then it upsets me. Okay. So obviously I created it, but then I'm still like, I want an apology. So I intend for an apology, and then he takes responsibility. So then he takes responsibility and says, oh, I'm sorry, I was just tired. And I'm like, okay, fine. But meanwhile, I know an hour ago I had that thought that created that. But there's nothing wrong with, asking for an apology, even though we've created everything. So, we need to start saying that we're confident in front of him. He wants to be with me. I wouldn't do the relationship talk. Never do the relationship talk, okay? Because it only pushes them away. Because if you're living from the end of being with somebody, right, your thoughts are going to come from that end. So, okay, let's use this as an example. Me and Andrew are together. Would I ever sit down and say, and we're getting married in July, would I ever sit down and say to him, we need to talk about our relationship? No, I would never, because I know he wants to be with me. So when it comes to the relationship talk of, okay, look, we're not together and I want to be together. Why don't you want to be with me? that pushes them away because we're living from the end that they don't want to be with us. If we were living from the end that they wanted to be with us, and that was our belief, that was our assumption, we wouldn't need to have that conversation. Right? Now, the relationship talk conversation is good if you want to find out what block you put on them, but really that's sort of irrelevant because if you're assuming that they want to be with you, there is no block there anyway. So don't even worry about that. So I would never suggest having the relationship talk. It just pushes them farther away because your thoughts have to be from they want to be with me. So if you're living from the end of somebody wanting to be with you, would you be like, well, he doesn't know what he's missing? No, of course not. I would never say, oh, Andrew doesn't know what he's missing. No, he lives with me. He's marrying me. He knows exactly what he has here, right? So we need to really dig in and analyze all of those thoughts to find out, where are my thoughts coming from? Are they coming from being in this relationship and living in the end of the assumption that he wants to be with me? Or is it coming from the end of rejection? Okay, so being scared to talk to him, that's probably coming from the end of rejection because we're scared that we're going to say something and it's not going to end well. So, you got to revise that last conversation. So, it really comes down to, enjoying what you have. So we need to accept what we have. So, I know when I wanted to move in with Andrew, he didn't want to move in with me because he had baggage from his last relationship and he didn't want to be in another one. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, fine then. I said to him, I'm like, that's fine. Whatever you want, it's good. I like what we're doing now. I really like being with you. And if you're not ready, that's okay. So I took it instead of as rejection. I said, okay, you know what? He's just not ready. So then I started intending that he's over his baggage and ready to be in a relationship, all the while accepting my current reality. I was seeing him every day. We were still just hanging out, even though he didn't want to be in a committed relationship. But I didn't push the matter with him. I just went internally and said he's over his baggage and he's ready for a relationship. He's over his baggage and he's ready for a relationship with me. And it's happening now because I'm good enough. And within 5 days, he asked me to move in with him and to be in a committed relationship. Okay. So, we have to accept our current reality and not push against it, not resist it. Okay. So the relationship talk is definitely resisting our current reality, right? So it's about us changing our inner world. When we change our inner world, our outer world will change, right? And so if you're not ready to talk with him, totally fine, totally fine. I think there's still some revision that needs to be done with that last conversation and revision of him. So what I would do right now is I would write down an entire list of every reason why he said he didn't want to be in a relationship, why you're scared, and what your current reality is. And then I would change it into positive intentions. I would change it. So if he says, oh, I just got out of a relationship, I'm not ready for one, your new statement would be like, he is over his baggage and ready for a relationship, right? If his other statement is like, he doesn't want a commitment, it would be he wants a commitment. Okay. Whatever the case is. Okay. I'm scared that he's going to reject me. I'm comfortable because he tells me how much he wants to be with me. Okay. So you're going to change and then read that new list 2 or 3 times a day at first. Okay. Like really saturate it into your mind. Okay. Because at first it's going to cause a bit of static. It's like whenever we do a new thought pattern, we are rewiring our brain. So it can be like, right. But once you move towards that new story, it's going to get a lot more solid, right? So that's what I would suggest for that. So lastly, I'm constantly stressed. I've been going in and out of doctors and urgent care this year. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And still no solution. There are rashes on my face and body and they're dry, painful, and definitely not pretty. Oh, okay. So, you know what? Queen of manifesting illnesses and getting rid of them right over here. So I have manifested many of things and anyway, so what I would do, right, is, okay, so let's go with, whenever you're feeling stressed, and this is what I do when I'm feeling stressed or worried, I say to myself, Amanda, everyone is you pushed out, your thoughts create, okay? You know how to fix this. All you need to do is get on top of your thoughts, okay? So you can start saying things like, okay, you know what? Doctors are going to figure out what's wrong with me and I'm going to be healed. And this happening and it's happening now because I'm good enough, okay? So let me tell you right now, okay? So I had like years of like when I was younger of doctors not finding out what was wrong with me. And I had the worst medical story in the world. I was like, oh, doctors can never figure it out, right? And of course, guess what happened? Nobody could ever figure it out. So I had to change my story about doctors. Now, Don't get me wrong, guys, you're powerful. You can go straight to the end of I healed myself with my mind, because it is all healing with your mind. Okay. But me, myself personally, I found that was a little bit more of a stretch to convince myself of than just changing my story. So I changed my story that, you know what, doctors were really smart, that basically anything physical, they could figure it out no problem, because it's physical. I mean, it's obvious, right? They've got a test for everything and they're going to be able to figure it out easily and effortlessly. Okay. So you start saying that they're going to figure this out easily and effortlessly. They're going to figure it out right away. They are going to come up with a solution, and it's going to be a really easy fix. Okay. I feel good about this. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen now because I'm good enough to be in good health. Okay. And this is really where we want to take this, right? Is, in this, like, I mean, and what's your story about doctors? Your story about doctors is like, you know what, the next time you see a doctor, it's going to be the best doctor you've ever seen. They're going to be so smart. They're going to figure it out immediately, and they're going to help you get rid of it. Plain and simple. They're going to cure you, right? And then at the same time, you can also just say too, at the same time as that, you can say, well, you know what, actually, the rash is just going to go away. It's going to go away just as easily as it came. It's going to be completely gone. Isn't it great how my skin is so clear and beautiful all the time, right? Plain and simple, right? So focus on the health. And also, it sounds like if you're in and out of urgent care with no solution, that there may be a story about the healthcare system and doctors, right? So just start changing that story now anyway. Even though that you say, look, at doctors always figure out what's wrong with me easily. I'm always in perfect health. They're not going to block each other, right? So change your story about doctors, that they're absolutely amazing. Anytime you see any of them, they figure you out right away and cure you. And then on the other hand, it's like, you know what, this skin rash is just going to go away. It's going to go away. My skin's going to be clear, right? So, and then also, start referring, you said, I am constantly stressed. So you're actually claiming that you're stressed. So let's go with, no, I may feel stressed right now. That's fine, but let's start changing that to, I intend to feel calm. I intend to feel content. I intend to feel satisfied. I intend to feel happy. So I intend to feel satisfied that I am going to be cured, that they are going to fix what's going on with my health. Okay. So, watch what emotions you identify with, because, like I used to say for a while there, like, I'm annoyed. And sure enough, every day I would be annoyed. And then things would happen to me that would annoy me, and it wouldn't stop. It was over and over. And I was like, oh my goodness. Right. So, now I say I'm satisfied. Everything that shows up in my reality makes me feel good, and it's okay. Right. Like, I mean, it's okay to go down these like roads and that sort of thing. Right. So, yeah. So how are you guys all doing? Let's see the comments here. It's exciting. So tonight, I don't know if anybody knows, there's this play, and it's also a movie. It's called Jesus Christ Superstar. Anyway, I grew up Christian. I don't know if you guys know that. So I did grow up religious when I was younger. And I mean, I'd still go to church now. And actually, Neville is really good if anyone's got questions about, religion and law of assumption. They go together well. And Neville does a great job of bridging the two, because basically the Bible is like basically an instruction manual of how your thoughts create. So, that's my take on it. But anyway, we're going to that tonight. I'm really excited. There's a play where I live with Jesus Christ Superstar. It's a musical. It's like totally my favorite. And it's so odd, right? Like totally odd. So, okay, sunny sunshine. My boyfriend has been so distant in his messages lately, and it's really bothering me. I want him to be excited about me again and send loving messages. Great. Okay. I intend. So he's only distance because we're acknowledging that we're seeing it. Okay. So let's go with no, my boyfriend. I feel so close to my boyfriend. And he's always excited about me, and he's always sending me loving messages. So how is he going to show this? What are you going to see, hear, and feel? Is he going to message you 4 or 5 times a day? Is he going to start sending you funny TikToks, memes? What are the loving messages going to say? Like, really go into detail with this. Like, what do you want to see? You can do it in your head. You can write it down. You can visualize it. You can do it however you want. The point is just to focus on it. And, the thing is, right, it's so funny. So who was I talking to? I was talking to someone the other day, right? And it's like, we get a choice of how we get to observe things. Okay. So like, for instance, I could say, oh, you know what? Andrew was so distant today. Well, or because like, let's say he goes to work and he doesn't message me at all day. And he doesn't even message me when he's going to come home. And I'd be like, oh, he's so distant today. Or I can turn around and go, okay, he was just busy at work. He's still, so you want to give the meaning of their behavior to be something that is tolerable to you. Okay. So like saying that he's distant and he's not showing up the way he used to, you're just creating more of that. Like you can acknowledge it. Okay. Well, he's distant. Okay. Maybe he's just been a bit busy. I intend he starts dropping everything and paying attention to me. Done deal. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's incredibly important. So a lot of coaches promote ignoring the 3D and circumstances don't matter. That gives people the idea that cheating is okay as long as we can manifest them back. This doesn't sit right with me. Oh my goodness. Okay. So first of all, circumstances don't matter. They don't matter. They really don't. Ignoring the 3D. Well, no, you shouldn't ignore the 3D. You should acknowledge the 3D, right? And what you're seeing, and then look at it to what you want to change. Okay. So that's you can't change. The thing is, right, it's like ignoring it. So like, let's say for instance, right, like this chapstick, okay, is like my thought of, I don't know, like someone disrespecting me. Okay. So here it is. It showed up. It's manifested in my reality. So if I ignore it and look the other way, it doesn't go away. I have to look at it and go, no, maybe they didn't disrespect me. Maybe they were just busy, or maybe they didn't feel good. Okay. Boom. Disrespect gone. Do you see what I mean? You can't ignore your 3D. Now, the matter of that gives people the idea that cheating is okay as long as we can manifest them back. I mean, I don't think that gives everyone the idea that cheating is okay and you can manifest them back. I mean, that's like, I would never get that, ignoring the 3D and that my circumstances don't matter means that I can do absolutely anything in the world. I mean, we still have to manifest within our conscious and stuff. I mean, I don't think anybody is out there maliciously saying, oh my goodness, you know what? Because I can go out and cheat on whoever I want and get them back. I mean, at the end of the day, anything that I do in my reality, it ultimately only hurts me, right? Because I'm the creator of my reality. So we create our own personal hells. So, I mean, I don't agree that, the principles of law of assumption give people permission to cheat and they're going to do it because it's okay. I mean, I don't think that, I think that if somebody does cheat and they want someone back, it's completely up to them. Some people have open relationships. They don't care. I mean, I think there's a lot of different people out there. Some people like me, if someone ever cheats on me, I never go back to them. It's not okay. I don't even care if I created it. So, I think it's really just a matter of, personal, boundaries and, thoughts like that. But I really don't think that the principles of the law of assumption give people to cheat, steal, kill people or anything like that. We still got our conscience and our values and morals to live by, right? We still, those are things that we've created. So Amanda, I want my husband to be okay with the fact that I smoke and drink and anything I wear and whatever I do is wherever I do, like going on trips. Great. Just start saying that, that he's okay with everything that you do, that you can smoke and drink and wear whatever you want. I mean, absolutely. So you've got to change your assumption of him, right? Why does he think it's okay? Why is he letting go of that story? Why does he have that story, right? You want to change that whole assumption that you got there. So like, for instance, I know like Andrew didn't like it when I smoked cigarettes, which I don't anymore, but I used to. And he was like, had a problem with it because of my health. He's like, oh, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. But then I changed the story to the point where he just was fine with it. He didn't bother me about it. So, I mean, you've just got to change the story of why, they're bothering you about it, right? So, I mean, myself, I changed the story to Andrew knows I know how to take care of myself. And he knows that, regardless of what I choose to do, I'm always going to be healthy because my thoughts create my health, not, anything else. Right. And then ultimately in the end, that's what, he said was, why he didn't, worry about it hurting my health anymore. So is there a difference between manifesting a twin flame versus an SP? Well, okay. So first of all, twin flame's a story. Okay. It's a story. At the basis of everything, your thoughts create, period. Okay. There are no rules. You create the rules. Okay. You manifest, your thoughts manifest. It's you and your reality. Everyone is you pushed out. So I don't know too much about twin flames, but I do hear that it's some kind of like journey to discover yourself. I mean, you can just manifest your nobody's really your twin flame unless you say they're your twin flame, because again, you create. So I could say Jerry's my twin flame today, and then I can say Andrew is tomorrow. So is there a difference? I'm not sure, but I do know that twin flames is just really creating a story. It's a story that is in a belief system. So you don't need that belief system. You can manifest any SP. Your twin flame can be your SP. And if you think that person wants to be with you, then they're going to want to be with you. And it's as simple as that. I wouldn't complicate it. I mean, some people are into the twin flame thing. Absolutely fine. But again, it's a belief. It's a story. And it just complicates your manifesting at the end of the day, because really what it comes down to, hundreds of people get married, thousands, millions of people get married every day or every year or whatever. And it's because they think the other person wants to be with them, period. Right. I mean, you don't have to put yourself through that self-torture and stuff of like trying to be a better person or anything like that. You can just say the person wants to be with me because they want to be with me because I'm good enough. Right. Yeah. So I'll answer one more question, guys. Oh, please. Okay. Yes, being Milton Dick Sr., I can talk a lot. Who's Jerry? Jerry's right here. He's our mascot. I guess you're new to Create Your Future. This is Jerry, guys, and he's still got his toque on. That's who Jerry is. Okay, so who asked me to answer SSS? Oh, hey. How do I change the fact that my SP thought I wasn't into him enough, then got engaged? Oh, okay. Well, you start saying, look he's going to break off the engagement because he wants to be with me. He knows that I'm totally into him and he's totally into me. We're meant to be together. And that's what's happening. It's happening now because we're good enough. So you got to change that whole story and the assumptions, right? So, the more detail you go into of changing your story, the story that you have now, into what you want, then, the quicker you're going to see movement, right? Yeah. Aw, Amanda, you're so amazing. By the way, first manifestation coach that got me started in the game years ago. Aw, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad. That's why, I figured this out, and I was like, and I watched so many, law of assumption, law of attraction channels, and don't get me wrong, everyone's great, but nobody explained it the way that I understood it. And I guess maybe it was too much information for me. So it started to confuse me, because I was like, but no, I know how this works. And that's why I started a channel, because what I felt like I needed to do was to say it in plain English, bluntly. Like I didn't get the words vortex and resonating and vibrations, and then I couldn't wrap my head around it. And I'm like, there's got to be a way, and again, no shade on anybody, a way to explain this in plain English. And that's why I started doing it, because I was just like, I've got this, like I figured it out. And I'm like, and I know I can explain this really simply, because that's just the way I am. I've learned something, I figure it out, and I'm able to relay it in a really clear, concise way. So yeah, you guys are absolutely amazing. You guys are so amazing. So yeah, well, thank you guys for being here. Jerry says hi. Hi. I thought I'd get the live done. We're going to the play tonight, and Andrew's on his way home. He went to the dentist and then he got a haircut. So yeah, but I thought I would pop on an evening one, so hopefully more people could join, because I think that's like really amazing when we do it more in the evening. So I think more people can join than during the day. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. And I definitely want you guys to, to be successful and to manifest your dreams. Because remember, you can be, do, and have anything you want. Hey, Yolanda. Hey, girl. What's up? Yolanda's been around since the beginning as well. A lot of you guys have, actually. I recognize a lot of names from when I had 29 subscribers, right? So I'm so happy that, you know what, we've, you know, that the team and I have been able to help you guys change your lives, and you guys stuck with us. And, you know, and all the coaches here, they, you know, they made it their life work to help change the world and make the world a better place and help each and every one of you guys have exactly what you want in your life and to be happy, because it's absolutely possible. And each and every one of you guys are good enough. So yeah, awesome. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Okay. Bye-bye.